Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on the Humble Bundle Indie.io Indie Game Favorites Bundle of November 2025. To help you answer the question, should you buy it? By using the links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and support the channel in the process. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you the viewers for watching my silly videos. I hope they're helpful. Most importantly, knowing that you're watching it means the world. Anyway, let's get into this. At number 1 we have G.I. Joe Wrath of COBRA, a modern homage to classic belt-scrolling arcade beat-em-ups, delivering the kind of high-octane side-scrolling action you'd expect from the genre. You step into the shoes of iconic characters like Duke, Roadblock, Scarlet, and Snake Eyes, each with distinct attacks, movement styles, and special abilities that make every playthrough feel unique. As you progress, you face increasingly diverse and challenging waves of COBRA robotic clones, keeping you on your toes throughout each stage. The combat system is intuitive yet satisfying. You can chain light and heavy attacks, block, sidestep, and dash, while also picking up temporary firearms to add variety to encounters. Special moves, such as Snake Eyes summoning his Wolf Timber, offer strategic depth for boss fights and larger enemy groups. You'll need to carefully monitor your special gauge, and use it at the right moment to maximize damage and survival. The game shines in presentation and atmosphere, capturing the over-the-top comic book charm of the G.I. Joe universe. Intro sequences, vignettes, and stage designs are visually engaging, full of humor and classic cartoon bombast. Unlockables and new modes like Boss Rush, Arcade, and Enemy Randomizers offer considerable replay value, encouraging you to explore different strategies and character combinations. While the absence of a grab and throw move slightly limits combat options, it does not hinder the fun. Wrath of COBRA successfully blends nostalgia with modern polish, providing satisfying arcade-style action, fan service for G.I. Joe enthusiasts, and plenty of replayable content. For anyone craving chaotic, colorful, and punchy side-scrolling brawling, this is a must-play. At number 2 we have Cat Cafe Manager, a delightful and addictive time management game where you take on the role of managing a cat cafe in the small town of Catterwall Way. The game, with a charming and delightful atmosphere, offers a perfect respite from heavy AAA titles. As the manager, you start from scratch, constructing the cafe and adopting cats to attract customers. The core gameplay involves taking orders, serving customers, cleaning up, and ensuring the cats are well cared for. The game's currency system is unique, with different customer types paying in various forms, adding strategic depth to the gameplay. Each customer type has specific preferences for food and decor, and each cat has its own stats and perks, influencing their appeal to different customers. The more you befriend regular customers, the more benefit and story elements you unlock. The game introduces a mystical cat shrine that serves as a skill tree, and your goal is to restore it. As you progress, you can hire NPCs, unlock new recipes, adopt more cats, and enhance your cafe further. The appeal of Cat Cafe Manager lies in adopting and nurturing adorable kittens to see your cafe flourish. However, the game has some issues, like a slow start, and for you more hardcore gamers out there, it's difficult to fail in this game. What stands out most about the game is the freedom it grants you to play at your own pace. While there are overall goals to achieve, the game doesn't impose strict requirements, allowing you to enjoy its cuteness and joy in a relaxed manner. Despite some drawbacks, Cat Cafe Manager offers a genuinely charming and enjoyable experience for players seeking a more laid-back and heartwarming simulation game. At number 3 we have Hauntsville, a western horror survival game that drops you into a ghost town in the cursed west, armed with little more than your wits and the iron on your hip. You start as a nameless traveler, tasked with building a homestead, working the land, and fending off unspeakable monsters that stalk the night. The game can be played solo, but its cooperative mode for up to 4 players truly shines, letting you and your friends survive or fail together against increasingly dangerous threats. You'll spend your days felling trees, mining for iron, hunting game, and scavenging a haunted town for supplies. Nights are tense and unforgiving, with creatures inspired by North American folklore roaming the valley, turning even routine tasks into life-or-death encounters. Dynamic weather and unpredictable events further heighten the tension, meaning a clear day can quickly become a muddy, blizzard-filled struggle for survival. Combat is functional but rough around the edges. You can fire guns, use melee attacks, and fend off creatures. But hitboxes, movement, and enemy spawning can feel inconsistent. Some mechanics, like hotbar scrolling and resource management, are occasionally frustrating, and the base building system is janky at times. The visuals are serviceable, but the world often feels empty and lacking in animation or interactive content. Despite its roughness, Hauntsville has charm and potential. Its atmosphere, sound design, and sense of danger are compelling, and multiplayer elevates the experience significantly. If you're looking for a polished solo survival game, you'll be disappointed, but as a cooperative indie project, it's a promising start with plenty of room to grow. And number 4 we have Forgotten Seas, a survival and exploration game that drops you into the mysterious Bermuda Void, a strange realm of endless ocean and fleeting islands where dread pirates stalk your every move. You start by crafting your ship in a bottle, a magical vessel that you can summon at a moment's notice, and set sail to explore unknown lands, build bases, hunt for treasure, and trade goods. Survival is as much about strategy as it is about combat, as hunger, dehydration, and hostile enemies constantly challenge your progress. You'll spend time establishing ports, crafting tools and ships, and exploring islands for rare resources. Ship combat is central to the experience, requiring you to manage positioning, speed, and broadsides against pirates and ghostly foes. On land, dual-wielding weapons make for fast-paced fights, though hit detection and combat consistency can feel janky at times. The dynamic world ensures no two voyages are the same, with disappearing islands, unpredictable storms, and sea monsters, adding tension to each expedition. While the concept is ambitious and imaginative, execution is uneven. Multiplayer is more forgiving, allowing you and your friends to laugh through the rough edges, but solo play can feel tedious due to random events and long waits between objectives. The UI is clunky, building and inventory systems are awkward, and quest tracking is inconsistent. Graphically, the game is serviceable, but some animations and environmental details are underwhelming. Despite its flaws, Forgotten Seas has heart and immense potential. Its setting, ship mechanics, and survival loops are engaging, especially in cooperative play. If you embrace it as a work-in-progress indie project, you'll find a lot to enjoy, while hoping future updates polish and expand the experience. And number 4 we have Echoes of the Plum Grove, a farming sim with survival and generational mechanics that takes a bold step away from the genre's usual sunshine and smiles routine. You're not just growing crops, you're building a legacy. The passage of time matters, and yes, death comes for everyone. You start shipwrecked on the island of Honeywood, where survival becomes your top priority. Farming is solid and satisfying, especially with features like composting spoiled food and drying rags to preserve meat and fruit. The charming Paper Mario-style visuals pop beautifully, and the thick black outlines make interactive items easy to spot. You'll need to manage hunger and exhaustion, but don't expect a hardcore survival experience. These systems feel more like flavor than true challenges, and while they can be toggled, they rarely affect gameplay meaningfully. Villagers, despite their old-school 1700s Massachusetts vibes and quirky lines like Fare Thee Well, feel disappointingly shallow. They age, marry, die, but your connection to them rarely deepens. Quests are random and plentiful, but rarely impactful. You might end up hoarding items in the hope someone asks for them. That said, expanding your farm and watching it thrive through generations is deeply satisfying, even if the characters around you feel like extras in your story. Echoes of the Plum Grove does not nail every idea it introduces, but it brings enough heart and unique flavor to make it stand out. If you want a farming sim that dares to ask, what happens after the harvest? This is worth checking out. And number 6 we have Immortal Hunters, an RPG beat-em-up that throws you into a dark apocalyptic world where the church has killed God and now faces Khemrid invasion. You take control of one of 4 immortal hunters, each with unique abilities, and fight your way through a burning city, uncovering corruption, heresy, and secrets the Cardinals tried to suppress. The game's story is engaging, filled with intrigue, unpredictable twists, and morally ambiguous characters, giving you a sense of urgency as you attempt to save humanity. Combat is a central feature, but it often feels clunky and unsatisfying. Enemy variety is limited, which makes battles predictable and repetitive, and hit feedback lacks impact, leaving you feeling detached from the action. On the RPG side, character progression is mostly tied to abilities, health, and resources, offering little in the way of meaningful choices or narrative-driven growth. Solo play can feel tedious, as the game seems primarily designed for co-op, where coordinating abilities and facing hordes together adds the most enjoyment. The art style is consistent and visually appealing, with well-designed environments that convey a bleak, apocalyptic atmosphere. Voice acting and sound design are uneven, sometimes enhancing immersion, other times breaking it. The UI and tutorial have minor issues, and certain mechanics are poorly explained or unintuitive, which can frustrate you in early play sessions. Despite its flaws, Immortal Hunters shows strong potential, especially in cooperative play. If you approach it as a co-op-focused indie with interesting story and solid aesthetic design, there's fun to be had, though solo players may find it lacking polish and depth. With improvements to combat and interface, it could become a standout experience. At number 7 we have Broken Pieces, an indie adventure game set in the fictional French coastal village of St. Axel. The town has been deserted, and only Elise, a woman who recently moved there with her fiancé, remains. Elise tries to uncover the truth behind the town's disappearance, while dealing with shadowy creatures, a military presence, and a cult called the Devoted. The gameplay revolves around Elise's daily routine of exploring the town, solving puzzles, and collecting items. The puzzles can be challenging, and sometimes require trial and error. Elise has tools like a journal, a magical bracelet that controls the weather, and a tape player that provides vital clues. The game's combat mechanics are clunky and unintuitive, detracting from the overall experience. The camera angles can also be frustrating at times, making it easy to miss important details. Saving the game is done by sitting on benches scattered throughout the town. The game emphasizes exploration, puzzle solving, and a narrative rather than horror or combat. The sense of loneliness and isolation in a deserted town is effectively portrayed through the sound design and visuals. While the game starts with a compelling mystery, the ending feels weak and lack an explanation. Some aspects, like Elise's magical bracelet, are left unexplained. However, the developers released a patch that added some explanation through a tape recording during the end credits. Despite its flaws, Broken Pieces manages to create a desire to explore and uncover the town's mysteries. It appeals to players who enjoy nostalgic adventure games and can be completed relatively quickly. However, players should be prepared for some frustrating aspects and an ending that may leave unanswered questions. At number 8 we have Retreat to Enen, a semi-open world survival game that attempts to blend the mechanics of survival with meditation and mindfulness. You arrive on a tropical island archipelago in 3300 CE, where survivors of a fallen world live in harmony with nature. Your goal is simple: survive while respecting the environment, locate 9 golden meditation domes across 3 unique biomes, and complete guided meditations to cultivate a deeper connection with the land. The game excels in visual and auditory design. The islands are handcrafted and stunningly detailed, from tropical beaches to dense redwood forests and snowy northern landscapes. Wildlife sounds, gentle rain, and a lightly used but effective soundtrack create a serene atmosphere that genuinely encourages you to slow down and explore. Meditation moments are genuinely rewarding, with soft guidance and beautiful vistas that make mindfulness feel approachable within a gaming context. Unfortunately, the survival mechanics often undermine the calm experience. Hunger, thirst, health, and the spirit meter require constant attention, and early progression can be punishing. Combat is frustratingly imprecise, carrying items is cumbersome, and the static, minimally detailed map makes navigation tedious. These systems frequently conflict with the game's zen aspirations, creating a tension that can leave you stressed rather than relaxed. The game's length is short, and while post-completion free exploration is available, a lack of creative mode limits the appeal. Retreat to Enen works best if you fully embrace its philosophy and can overlook its frustrations. For those able to surrender to its meditative core, it offers a unique and visually gorgeous experience. For others, the jarring survival demands may outweigh its charm. At number 9 we have Airborne Kingdom, a city builder game set in the clouds. In this game, you aim to build a flying city and make everyone love you. The game offers a unique twist with its airborne setting and physics-based challenges. As you construct your city, you must ensure it remains balanced and doesn't tilt too much, as that can cause citizens to leave. The city's lift must be carefully managed to maintain stability. Coal is a crucial resource for keeping the city afloat, and you need to manage it efficiently. The game combines familiar city building mechanics with the added challenge of physics. You must plan and adjust your city layouts to counteract the forces of gravity. As you explore the world below, you gather resources to sustain your city and encounter other settlements and cities. Building alliances with these ground-based cities is a key objective. However, the game's breezy pace and lack of complex decision-making made the alliance process feel simplistic. Despite these minor flaws, Airborne Kingdom offers a relaxing and visually appealing experience. The game allows for creative freedom in city design, and the vibrant visuals bring the city to life. The absence of combat and the focus on exploration and trade contribute to the game's laid-back atmosphere. The game manages to strike a balance between depth and accessibility, with a wealth of content packed into a relatively short playtime. In conclusion, Airborne Kingdom is a charming and enjoyable city builder that provides a unique twist to the genre. While it may lack some depth in certain aspects, its atmospheric setting, creative possibilities, and relaxing gameplay make it a worthwhile experience for fans of city building games. At number 10 we have Everwarder, a tower defense roguelike that mixes survival and strategy in a uniquely tense way. You face a procedurally generated world blanketed by darkness, and every time you touch it, new enemies emerge to attack your crystal, the one thing you must protect. Each run begins with your crystal and limited energy, forcing you to decide how to expand. Do you cautiously clear darkness, gather energy, and build defenses carefully? Or do you take risks, searching quickly for ancient structures and powerful artifacts to shift the tide? The game thrives on its blend of experimentation and pressure. As enemies scale in power with each passing second, so too can you, by collecting artifacts, upgrading defenders, and unlocking permanent boosts through minerals gained across runs. This creates a constant push and pull between long-term planning and short-term survival. Failures are not wasted. They fuel growth, ensuring every attempt feels like progress. What makes Everwarder stand out is its replayability. Every run feels different thanks to procedural maps, randomized artifacts, and strategic synergies between upgrades. Sometimes you'll stumble into powerful builds, other times you'll scrape by with careful planning, but each session teaches you more about the mechanics. That said, progression can feel grind-heavy, and luck plays a big role in whether artifacts align with your strategy. Still, the atmosphere, music, and creative design give the experience a meditative yet thrilling edge. If you enjoy roguelites or tower defense, Everwarder offers a fresh, challenging twist you won't soon forget. At number 11 we have Troublemaker, a wild ride through the halls of high school, blending juvenile delinquency with Yakuza-style combat, and a healthy dose of cringe-worthy humor. From the get-go, you're thrust into the shoes of Buddy, a troublemaker with a knack for brawling and a new school to navigate. As you meet a cast of archetypal characters and dive headfirst into the chaotic world of teenage gang warfare, it becomes clear the Troublemaker is anything but ordinary. The game's story, while utterly nonsensical, somehow manages to captivate with its sheer absurdity. Encouraging gangs to battle it out in school corridors might not make much sense, but it sets the stage for some hilariously over-the-top encounters and meme-laden dialogue that'll leave you both cringing and laughing in equal measure. Combat, reminiscent of Yakuza mechanics, is serviceable but flawed, offering repetitive gameplay and occasional glitches that only add to the game's charm. Despite its shortcomings, there's a certain joy in unleashing Buddy's sick moves on unsuspecting opponents and reveling in the chaos that ensues. Visually, Troublemaker is a mixed bag, with outdated graphics and occasional glitches, marring an otherwise serviceable presentation. Yet somehow, these flaws only add to the game's quirky appeal, cementing its status as a guilty pleasure for those willing to overlook its shortcomings. Troublemaker is far from perfect, but is undeniably entertaining in its own bizarre way. If you're willing to embrace the madness and overlook its flaws, you'll find yourself immersed in a hilariously enjoyable experience that's sure to leave a lasting impression. At number 12 we have To the Rescue, a dog shelter simulator that puts you in charge of rescuing, caring for, and rehoming a variety of adorable dogs. You'll manage a shelter, feed and bathe the dogs, administer vaccines, and give them playtime while balancing their happiness and health. Each dog has unique traits and preferences, and adopters come with specific requests, so you'll need to carefully match dogs to potential homes. The goal is simple: finding every dog a loving forever home, while expanding and improving your shelter. The game shines in its charm and accessibility. Its cutesy graphics, relaxing soundtrack, and cheerful animations make it easy to fall into the satisfying routine of caring for dogs. The foster network system is a highlight, letting you place harder to adopt dogs in temporary homes, reducing your shelter load while still progressing their adoption. Watching your shelter thrive and dogs find homes provides a surprisingly rewarding loop, and the core gameplay encourages repeated engagement without overwhelming complexity. That said, you'll encounter frustrations. Bugs persist, such as helpers getting stuck in kennels, grunts not always delivering rewards, and saved dogs sometimes resetting unexpectedly. Shelter expansion is limited, and story mode is short, acting more like a guided tutorial than a full narrative. You may also find some gameplay mechanics, like play areas or certain adoption strategies, largely optional, which can diminish challenge. Despite these flaws, To the Rescue offers a relaxing, addictive, and heartwarming experience for dog lovers. If you're willing to overlook minor bugs and embrace its repetitive, care-focused loop, you'll find it an engaging and rewarding shelter simulator. At number 13 we have One More Island, a colonial-themed city builder that puts you in the role of the Queen's governor, tasked with establishing and managing a series of islands in the New World. You'll explore new lands, harvest natural resources, construct production chains, and expand small outposts into bustling colonial metropolises. Each island is procedurally generated with handcrafted elements, giving you the opportunity to optimize your colonies while juggling logistics, trade, and the needs of your workers. The game shines early on, with a charming art style reminiscent of Prison Architect, a catchy soundtrack, and a surprisingly well laid out tutorial that helps you get a handle on supply chains, research tiers, and resource management. You'll find it satisfying to plan your production lines and ship goods between islands, seeing the tangible results of your careful organization. There's a strong addictive loop as you research new technologies, upgrade workers, and expand to additional islands, giving a sense of tangible progress. However, the game struggles under its own systems as you advance. Late game management becomes frustratingly micromanaged, workers may die unexpectedly, supply chains may break, and resources get mismanaged due to clunky UI and pathfinding issues. Taxes and research scaling further complicate matters, and minor bugs, from frozen autosave screens to misbehaving workers, add extra headaches. These issues can make late-game expansion tedious rather than rewarding, forcing you to meticulously plan around limitations rather than creatively solving problems. Despite these flaws, One More Island offers a solid early to mid-game experience for fans of strategy and resource management. If you enjoy careful planning, spreadsheet-level optimization, and the satisfaction of seeing a colonial empire grow, you'll get hours of engagement, but expect late-game frustrations to test your patience. At number 14 we have Dark Deity 2, a turn-based strategy RPG and the sequel to the Kickstarter-backed original, drawing heavy inspiration from Fire Emblem. You step into the shoes of the children of the previous game's protagonists, navigating Varroa as tensions rise and a cartoonishly evil empire threatens their fragile peace. While the story introduces some likable characters and witty banter, it is ultimately formulaic and underdeveloped. The early hours don't provide enough context, leaving you struggling to fully invest in the world or its factions. Character development is limited, and only a handful of personalities receive meaningful attention, though the dialogue remains fun enough to carry you through. Where Dark Deity 2 truly excels is in its gameplay. Combat is straightforward yet engaging, relying on simple additive calculations for attacks, defense, accuracy, and dodge. You'll deploy a squad of 10 characters, tackle maps with objectives or bosses, and earn rewards through side goals. Active abilities, class-specific skills, equipment, and accessories give you numerous strategic options, letting you experiment with powerful combinations or finely tuned specialists. Difficulty is highly customizable, with optional turn limits and a randomizer that encourage replayability, though the reliance on turn limits as a core difficulty driver can feel artificial. Presentation is a mixed bag. Character portraits sometimes miss the mark, but the sprite animations capture the GBA-era Fire Emblem aesthetic perfectly. Map design can be sparse, yet the music is exceptional, seamlessly enhancing combat and player phases. Dark Deity 2 is a significant improvement over its predecessor. The story and visuals stumble, but the refined combat, strategic depth, and replay value make it a solid choice for fans of tactical RPGs. It is not groundbreaking, but it is enjoyable and worth your time. Please note that this bundle gives you a 30% off coupon as opposed to the game itself. At number 15 we have SCP Fragmented Minds, a first-person action survival horror game that drops you into Mars Site 113, a crumbling SCP Foundation facility teeming with deadly anomalies. You wake from cryostasis to find the facility in chaos following a near-extinction event on Earth. Humanity's last hope rests on your shoulders as you navigate the sprawling, decaying complex where stealth, combat, and careful decision-making are key to survival. The first chapter offers around 4 to 5 hours of gameplay, but it feels much longer thanks to the dense atmosphere and variety of encounters. You'll hack, weld, and parkour through distinct zones, each presenting unique threats and opportunities. Combat is flexible. You can engage SCPs head-on, use environmental tools to your advantage, or sneak past dangers entirely. Choices matter, and the consequences can be grim, making you think twice before acting. Collectibles, alternate paths, and environmental storytelling reward exploration, and the developers have clearly paid attention to creating a coherent, eerie world. The visuals and voice acting impress, particularly given the game's small file size and indie budget. The atmosphere is thick and tense, with music and sound design heightening every unsettling moment. Minor technical issues exist, such as occasional sound tearing and AI quirks, but they rarely disrupt the experience. While the game is short, SCP Fragmented Minds is a polished, engaging, and terrifying introduction to the Martian SCP facility. Please note that this bundle gives you a 30% off coupon, as opposed to the game itself. At number 16 we have Troublemaker 2, an open-world action comedy beat-em-up continuing the journey of the Parakachut gang and the Beyond Dream Band in South Jayakarta, Indonesia. Drawing heavy inspiration from Like a Dragon's chaotic structure, the game centers on friendship, dreams, and confronting the secrets of the city, blending stylish brawling with absurd humor. The game's primary strength is its narrative and setting. The developers have meticulously crafted a believable Indonesian city, filled with neon, scooters, and a pervasive sense of disorder. The story is highly praised by the community, with many finding the plot compelling and the character development, especially for dual protagonists Jordan and Budi, deeply engaging. Beyond the main drama, the experience is peppered with unique activities and minigames that showcase the game's unique, boisterous tone, such as helping a critically thinking cow on its final rampage. However, you must be prepared for the jankiness. Player reviews consistently point out technical flaws. While the game promises bare fists, weapons, and finishers, its execution is often hampered by frustrating issues. The fighting camera angles can be messy, input detection sometimes fails, and poor optimization leads to significant frame drops. Furthermore, a clunky save system forces you to restart substantial segments after dying, which can make exploring side content feel pointless. Troublemaker 2 operates on pure heart rather than budget. If you prioritize a deeply felt cinematic story and localized charm over technical polish, and you're willing to tolerate its significant flaws for the sake of its unique comedic chaos, then this is an appealing adventure for you. Please note that this bundle gives you a 30% off coupon, as opposed to the game itself. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle serves up a splash of indie color, cozy vibes, and quirky charm, but let's be real, the favorites label feels kinda boosted. You've got farming chill and echoes of the Plum Grove, cat-powered cafe management, and a handful of smaller curios, all wrapped in a pay-what-you-want model that supports experienced studios. In my opinion, if you're into wholesome, low-stress games, this bundle is a comfy grab. But if you expected heavy hitters, this drop might feel more like a side quest. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.